Assalamualaikum and very good evening, especially to Dr. Afika Binti Abdul Rahim, our lecturer for Geology Engineering and Rock Mechanics. We are from Group 8, who would like to present about our topic, which is rainfall or weathering affecting soil or rock stability. Firstly, I would like to share about the definition of geohazard. A geohazard is a geological state that may lead to widespread damage or risk. Geohazards are geological and environmental conditions that involve for a long-term or short-term geological processes. Secondly, I enlightened to share about effect of weathering to soil or rock stability. Weathering is an essential process that affects the mechanical properties of rock material, mass at shallow depth, and on the surface through chemical and physical weathering. There are two types of weathering, which is the first one is a physical weathering and the second one is a chemical weathering. For the first one, physical weathering leads to the opening of discontinuities of rock fractures, progressively breaking down the original rock to a soil-like material representing advanced stage of weathering. And the second one is the chemical weathering. Chemical weathering results in chemical changes in mineral. And the similarities of the physical weathering and the chemical weathering is they are also responsible for the formation of soil that supply nutrients to enable plant growth and control the Earth's surface morphology. Last but not least, the slope failure and landslide often happen in areas that are strongly affected by weathering. So for the case study, we already choose one site located at Jalan Beriwan Long, Tenggua, Limbang, Sarawak. This site is located at a sedimentary formation of shale, which consists of sandstone, siltstone, and shale. As you can see, these are several site photos that we took. And we go for subsurface investigation. Subsurface investigation are performed to obtain information on the physical properties of soil at the study area. This subsurface exploration usually involves soil sampling and laboratory tests. There are two tests of subsurface investigation. The first test is in situ test, which is exploratory drilling. Exploratory drilling was carried out by taking two samples. The first one is disturbed sample and the second one is undisturbed sample. A disturbed sample is one in which the structure of the soil has been changed sufficiently and only properties of the soil grain can be accurately determined. An undisturbed sample is one where the condition of the soil in sample is close enough to the condition of the soil in situ to allow test of structural properties of the soil to be used to approximate the properties of the soil in situ. And we go for the second test is a laboratory testing. Laboratory testing was divided to two properties. The first one is index properties and the second one is a mechanical properties. For the index properties, there are 6 tests. And the first one is attribute limit, which is to calculate the different properties of a certain soil type. The second one is a particle size distribution, is to determine soil class on the textural triangle, an important standard for categorizing soil physical and chemical behavior on the basis of surface activity. The third one is a specific gravity, is to determine the specific gravity of soil. The fourth one is a moisture content, to determine the water content present in the soil sample used. The fifth one is a bulk density, is to determine soil texture by using various methods. Last but not least, the dry density is to determine the relationship between the moisture content and the dry density of a soil. And the mechanical properties is shear box test is to determine the shear strength of a soil sample. For the result and discussion, the slope was cut to make way for road construction. It is a normal solid properties to expand when load were removed from it. This unloading process was called the mechanical exfoliation. The cutting exposed the layer of shale and sandstone. Shale was the most affected due to this process because of its properties of disintegrate easily and solubility to water. As shale weather rapidly than sandstone, as rain keep on falling with the rapid weather process of shale. And for our conclusion for this topic is the longer a rock exposed to the agent of weathering, the greater the degree of alteration, dissolution, and physical breakup. Other than that, when the rainwater enters the cracked area, chemical carbonation occurs. Next one is a different rock have different resistance to weathering. The last but not least, the resistance of mineral found in rock to weathering also different. Thank you so much.